Darren, give us a song.
What song? If I was a parrot.
Sound like Chewy.
Back to opium. Back to poppies. So we get this lovely scene, and again, I think all the trees in the background and everything, all matte painted, lovely, gorgeous. They stumble upon, there's just between us and the Emerald City, there's this lovely poppy field. Let's travel along in there. The city looks fantastic. The Emerald City looks tremendous. So.
Yeah. But that's a amazing picture there. Look at that. That's fucking what's real and what's not real there. Like obviously the whole I think
where does the matte painting start? Like where does the wall start? Like it's probably just over the first hill there, over that first ridge there. But I would say different.
Just where they're standing. I'd say literally they're standing against the wall. I'd say literally right in front of them is the wall.
You know what, Darren? I think you might be right because I think there might be like one hedge in front of them, and then there's a wall.
Yeah, because I know from that shot, you see them walking for about 3 seconds, and all of a sudden, then it kind of cuts off there. Like, I'd say the wall. Look, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it looks like, obviously, as you know now, a painting, but like it's fucking beautiful. It's so
well done. It's so well done. And if it was a painting, Darren, they wouldn't have fallen asleep for all but 10 minutes. This is where the Tin Man, who has no heart, has a cry and rusts himself up.
Because he gets scared. The lion makes me laugh because the lion is like, the lion falls down. He falls at this.
Yeah. And then Glinda comes along and she's like, "Snow, bitches. You know what beats heroin? Cocaine!
Asbestos!
Yeah. Asbestos! Who likes some mesothelioma? Attack!"
But like, who's fucking hell, asbestos? But that wasn't like just a small. Common. That was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That was common back then. That's what they used. It was like, I think they called it like Magic White, or there was a few different brand names for asbestos-based snow, because before that they used to use cotton. But then they were like, oh, that's a fire hazard. So the firemen said, stop using cotton, use asbestos because it's flame retardant.
But that makes sense, I suppose. You know what I mean?
I'll take it.
And it became an industry standard.
Yeah, total sense. That's why, like, you know, people die in fucking Hollywood because, you know.
The only thing that stopped it was the start of the World War.
Look at all of that lovely snow on top of them. Come on. Don't worry, Dorothy. Pick up all the snow and just sniff it. Just put it in your mouth and it's fine. Yeah. Play.
So did the Scarecrow fall asleep there? Did he fall asleep as well?
No. Him, Scarecrow and Tin Man stay awake, I believe.
Yeah, but Tin Man is Rumpus. Tin Man, like, cause it's like, okay, he doesn't. Okay, that's grand. Okay, go on.
Yeah. So then the witch is like, damn it! But the thing I literally just did 2 seconds ago didn't work. Well, I have to try something better. I've tried to burn him out of it. I've tried to make him fall asleep. I don't know, flying monkeys? What's next? So they make it out of the poppy field and jollily, perfectly fine, make it down. So I love this bit. So she's like, you know what, fuck that. I'm going to send a message. She hops on her little broom and she does. I love the little doll thing that they get to fly around. It looks so. This is the cheapest part of it, where they get it to like fly around the castle, and it's like it's like obviously a little doll on a string.
But it's so fun. Woo! I love that scene. I don't know why. It's just so. It almost seems cute.
Yes,
in
it is.
The scheme of the rest of the movie.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they meant it though. I think they meant this to look amazing, but it just turned out.
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's going to be so scary seeing her like fly through the air. Like, oh my god, that's horrible. Have you ever seen Monkey Magic? Yeah.
Oh my god, I love Monkey. Yeah.
You know when he's flying through the air on that cloud?
He goes.
Yes, it looks like that. So they finally get to the Emerald City, and they approach the doors. And the first thing, chap pops out of the door and goes, "Go away! Fuck off!" Basically, I don't want shit to do with you. And it's the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Well, it's the.
You could tell the way he's talking. Like the mustache that they had on him was like a fake mustache, a huge, bristly fake mustache, and he like it kept getting in his mouth. He was saying every time he talked, it went inside his mouth, and he kept biting off small hairs. You could hear him when he talked.
That's a mustache, though. I like that. And I think he goes, "Can't you read?" And then he like points down to a sign, and then it's like, "Bell out of order. Please knock." It's like, what? Hang on, what? So they knock, and then he goes, "Hey!" They have a little bit of a scuffle, and he goes, "Hey, those are the ruby slippers." And then he goes, "Oh, get your shit in." So
it's a different color. Why didn't you say so?
Why didn't you say so? So the door is open. If it's that easy to get in through security, it's like, oh, you know what? Just wear some really nice shoes. The guy has a fetish for it. He'll let you in. So
that's what I got from that.
Yeah, I got foot fetish. I got the guy has a foot fetish. He's like, ooh, can I actually have those to wear? So I'll give them back after you leave. Then they get in the carriage, and the guy that like now I'm starting to think, wow, they were really low on actors, but no, it's the same guy. It's the marvelous Mr. Wizard of Marvelous Oz.
Professor Marvel.
Professor Marvel.
There he is.
That's Xavier, right?
It's X-Men.
Yeah, that's like sex, man. Darren, we're cutting like you're looking like a Terrence and Phillip character right there.
Yeah.
Off to find some treasure.
Treasure. Let's search for treasure.
I'm not your buddy.
Hey, buddy. I'm not your buddy, guy. Hey, I'm not your god friend. I'm not your friend, buddy.
Oh God, is that what that's from?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Canadians. Oh my God, it's the Canadian devil. So, let's move on from the carriage with the multicolored horse, which I think is a wonderful effect in this.
Yes.
Where they turn the horse different colors and stuff like. How did they do that, Derry?
Didn't they paint the horse?
Did they painted the horse? Yeah.
A couple of horses.
Oh my God. Those poor horses. Who didn't come away from cancer with this? Like everybody just died the week afterwards. So they a stuff here, stuff there, a rub here, rub there, and they're all getting a good stuffing and a good rubbing.
Jello powder.
Jello powder for what?
Yep. The horse of a different color. They got Jello powder and they did a purple one and a red one or whatever.
Oh, you mean jelly powder?
Yeah, but American Jello.
Jello. I think that's a good idea. If you ever want to paint a horse, Jello powder.
Cover it in Jello powder.
So everybody's getting a bit of a sprucing up. Tin Man's getting a bit of a shining. And Scarecrow's getting a little bit of stuffing. And also, they're like, yeah, we can change your eye color if you want. We have that technology here. So
it's a bit random.
Yeah. You want to change your eye color? Really? Okay. So they do that. And, oh yeah, the Cowardly Lion gets a little bit of a ribbon in his hair and he gets some curls.
I just love the way Dorothy and the lion now have the same hairstyle.
I want hers. So the witch starts leaving off a bit of steam and puts a big message in the sky. And when I was, again, sometimes when I forget bits in films, you know, if you haven't watched them in a long time. And I was like, what is she writing? Like, surprise! I was like, sir something? What is it? Oh, no. It's Surrender Dorothy. Surrender? And then it should have been, comma, Dorothy. Because that means...
I've done that before.
Oh, really? Is there a thing
on
that?
Yeah, I was having a look for it.
Because it's meant to be like, Surrender Dorothy, right? But not, like, are they telling Oz to surrender Dorothy? Yeah.
Darren, was that not a Family Guy skit? Yeah, that was the same thing. The Family Guy made so many jokes about this movie. Like, they're like, because the Scarecrow was like, do we give her to her or does she want her? What like, and that's that. And same when at the end of it, she's like, Scarecrow in Family Guy, she's like, I'll miss you all. And then Tin Man is like, oh, that's nice. We're just standing right here.
I love that with the lion, yeah. I've missed you most of all. So the witch is making basically a big message in the sky for everybody to get. I assume that she's putting it there for the people of Oz to be like, oh God, Dorothy, throw her outside, fuck her. But that doesn't happen.
They don't know who Dorothy is. None of the people from Oz know who she is.
Who is this Dorothy? I love like random people named Dorothy getting fucked outside. No, Mom, no! It's the witch, she wants you! Get out! My middle name is Dorothy. Kick him out too. So
Dorothy, get over in the center room.
They're all pointing up in the sky. Ah, up there. And she goes up to the guard, and he's also the Wizard of Oz.
I wonder if this guy got 3 paychecks for fucking doing 3 different jobs.
He played like every character up until pretty much like past this point. He plays everybody. And he's like, I can't let you see in the great and powerful Oz. It's just not going to happen.
Ain't nobody know how.
But then, well, I think no, he lets him in. He goes, "Oh, you're Dorothy. The king, the Wizard of Oz will want to see you." And this is where we have the lion song. And if I was a king of the forest, not a sparrow, and then so on and so on. I love this song. I wish I could sing because I would sing these types of songs.
Sure,
Darren, give us a song.
What song? If I was a parrot.
Is that like Chewy?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, you do like he kind of like a Wookiee cross lion thing. And then he's very stern. I love like this song is just so fun. All of the songs in it are very fun, but this is my favorite, I think. Well, it's probably one of my favorites. The Tin Man is just too good because he goes the poop poop. So I did a lot of screenshots of this because I have so many good memories of it, and he makes so many hilarious faces in it. They put a cool like robe, like
it's a rug. It's a rug. It's a fucking rug
flowers.
On the ground. Yeah, flowers. Yeah, but it's the way it's done because it was made as a like it was actually how it was said it was made as like his. It was going to be on the back of, it was going to be a throw on the wall. They were going to pull it off, but they said, "Would it be cool if you walked towards it and it was on the ground?" They put it on him, because it made more sense. It was just like by accident. And the same with the crown. He takes off the fucking vase, throws the sleeves, and he hits the vase and he makes it into a crown from. Brilliant.
And I love. So they're all basically going, okay, the wizard is definitely going to be able to give us all this stuff, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to be the king finally. And I'm going to rule, and I'll be the fair king of the forest. Lions don't live in forests. They're jungle dwellers, as far as I'm aware.
No, they're Sahara, or what's Sahara? What's the words? Oh, I can't remember. The plains.
They can
fly. The African plains.
Plains?
African plains? Like Africa Air?
This is something that's at the
window. I'll be your captain, the cowardly lion.
I just sit here and draw, so
we're going at about 10,000 meters in the air. Oh God! Dang! We take the piss out of everything. So he goes and he has. I got so many pictures of this, but then we get to the end of the song, and the guard is there to burst his bubble, going, "Nope! Not going to be seen. Sorry, goodbye." And then Dorothy goes, well, I guess there's nothing left to do but just have a cry and just feel sad about everything. And then
your man clearly has a hose on the top of his head that like pouring water.
I love it. They're literally beating the shit out of Dorothy to get her to blubber. And this man is like, I'm not fucking crying on demand. Get a little bit of water up there. Stick a little hose up in my eyebrows. So he lets him in. Out of guilt. Even though he is the fucking wizard.
Like, yeah, what a fucking dude.
He's like, oh shit, I hope she doesn't get... I better put up my holograph in 2 seconds. So they finally get in. And this scene is fucking amazing. The way that they have the big massive head, the fact that it's always obscured.
Yes. best joke in the movie is here. When the lion is walking his leg. He's like, "Oh, who touched my tail?" And your man's like, "That's you, because he has the tail in his hand."
He's gripping it. Yeah. Who's touching my tail?
That's my tail. He's like, "You have a tail." But like, it's the acting of the actors. He's like, when he has the tail, he's wiping his eyes.
But that's a thing you can do when you have a costume, not a fucking mocap dot on your head. You can't do it. You know, imagine.
Did you notice at the start of that movie? Like, you probably didn't. When he comes out, like when when you see him, when you were saying that you see him in the forest, like he jumps like a lion onto two hands. He jumps like whoever the stunt guy was. It wasn't Jack Haley. He jumps like a lion, and then obviously he jumps down into a trampoline, jumps up. But like when you see him first, he does move like a lion. That's fucking brilliant. I said that's great. Anyway, like let's fast forward 25
It's like an
minutes.
Andy Serkis. I bet they were like, okay, let's get Andy Serkis to do that. There's like literally nobody else in Hollywood that can get down on all fours, except for all of. Oh no, wait, I was going to make it. Never mind. Let's not make that joke. Anyway, next slide. So Dorothy makes her wish, and then she says, "Hey, I want you to bring me home." And then the Tin Man says, "Hey, I want you to give me a heart." And then the Scarecrow goes, "Hey, give me a brain." And then the lion gets too scared. He can't do shit. And he just faints. He's like, "Ruh." So he's like, the Wizard of Oz basically is taking no shit. He's like, I'm not going to help you at all. Basically, I'm not up for anything. You don't have anything that I want. Except for the broom of the Wicked Witch of the West. I want you to get that.
But like,
how arbitrary. I want you to go off and kill someone again. I want you to do murder again. Murder more people for me, Dorothy.
A lot of people fucking looking for murder in this movie.
Right? Awful lot of murder.
But in The Wiz, the live TV show, and in the movie, they turn around and say it to Dorothy, because the wizard or the Wiz says to her, "Well, this is all your fault. None of this would have happened if you had to drop the house on your one." And then, like, the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, the line says, "This is all because of you." I'm like, yes, it fucking is. It's all because of her.
Is that Michael Jackson was in that, yeah?
Michael Jackson, yeah. The Wiz is amazing, man. But then again, it's like fucking full of crazy. Like, it's much more a musical. Like, it's basically made. Yeah.
It's like great. Some of the best black singers at the time, I think, were in that.
Piano Ross, Michael Jackson. I could name out fucking Quincy Jones wrote and directed it. It's lethal. It's amazing. And then the live version is like one of Broadway's a big hit in Broadway in the West End. It's a fucking phenomenal show. Then they did the live TV version of The Wiz, which I saw the other day, which is amazing as well. But like
I'd love to see how it like compares to this. Like, I think the music could be very different, but very, very good. Like, it seems like a Brooklyn-y kind of thing. Like, hey, we're in New York.
Do you know what it is? It's amazing because as much as it's kind of like a Motown version, you'd still know what it's based on. Mm-hmm. And not just because of the costumes, but I mean because of the essence of what this movie, The Wizard of Oz, is about. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like black.
Fun. Crack.
I'm black.
Oh, I'm black. I'm black. Hey, and okay, here's a good example. Here's a great example. That was a fantastic film based on really good and talented artists, and it would also just happen to be black, which was great. You know, they all got together as black artists, but it wasn't like, hey, we need to make a black Wizard of Oz because that's what the world needs. Yeah. It's like, no, they just wanted to do it, and they did it.
I'm Motown forever. I grew up on Motown, like not just the Jacksons, because everyone says, oh, the Jacksons. No, I'm talking about Temptations. I'm talking about like then newer Lionel Richie, and you're talking about like Stevie Wonder.
Earth, Wind and Fire. They're Motown, aren't they?
Like, I grew up on Motown. Motown is, but like, the singers in The Wiz are just out of this fucking world. Like, you know what I mean? But even the guys who are not singers, like, everyone in that movie was just a superstar. Like, you know what I mean? Fucking superstar. Have you seen The Wiz, Jim, you know?
Yeah, no, I've seen a good bit of it, yeah. Like, I haven't seen it all the way through.
Richard Pryor was
Richard Pryor's in. I do like Richard Pryor.
So there you go. That says it all. You know what I mean? Fucking Richard Pryor, the man, the legend, the Wiz himself.
Who plays the Wizard?
Richard Pryor.
Oh, he plays the Wizard. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he plays the Wizard. But again, like in this, he's like
motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fake.
I would like to say it's like Samuel Jackson should play the Wizard in this version. Motherfucker. So we get the Wizard, and he's basically like, "Yo, but that's okay. I'm gonna do a Samuel Jackson impression for the Wizard throughout the whole entire rest of this review. Yo, motherfucker, I want you to, you put those in the recycling. Better get that witch's broom for me, bitches. Motherfucking witches on this motherfucking land of Oz." So he goes away, and the lion runs out of the hallway and jumps through a window, and he's gone. He's fine. They then go into the forest to search for the witch to get the broom from her. And I love the signs there where it's like witch's forest, witch's castle, 1 mile. I'd turn back if I were you. So they all go in, and this is a fantastic scene. The Dorothy doesn't have anything. I think she just has her fists. The Scarecrow has a gun, a revolver. The Lion has one of those. Oh no, he's a net, and he also has one of those bug extinguishers. You know, I thought it was a mallet, but it's not. It's like one of those, push things for bug extinguishers.
Yeah.
And then the Tin Man has a big wrench. Perfect. We see some elves. Spooky. And then we see the witch commanding all of the flying monkeys. What a fantastic idea. Like, flying monkeys. Yeah.
Is there a reason they're flying monkeys? It seems very random.
It seems really weird, but how terrifying. How terrifying would a load of flying monkeys go? Like, imagine... monkeys. The witch has loads of monkeys. Okay, how do we make them more terrifying? Put them on wings. Like rabid monkeys descending from the sky.
So, like, were they... I say it so bad when I say this. Were they small people in costumes, or what was that like? Was that...
These actually... Yeah. That's hard to say, because they're all hunched over. Maybe they got a load of hunchbacks.
Fuck's sake.
Got a load of hunchbacks together. Jesus Christ. Okay, you're the monkeys.
I'm assuming they were small people, right? In costume.
Yeah. Little people, yeah. More than likely if they had that many in cast already.
I was thinking that, because that's what it's... Okay, I'm just...
Hey, we got a bunch of small monkey-looking little people over here. What you want me to do with them? I don't know. Just stick a load of extra wings on them. We'll find something.
Let's just make them what they are, monkeys.
Monkeys. Flying monkeys. So, the flying monkeys fly in the sky, and I think, again, this is a fantastic scene where you see, like, all the bombers.
Where the lion ran and jumped through the window, did we?
Yeah, we did that part. Yeah.
That was... I had forgot about that, and then when I saw him, like, I was saying when he was running away, I was like, that guy's fucking moving his ass off. And I was like, holy shit, he dove through the window. I was like, I didn't fucking remember that bit. Jesus.
But then afterwards, like, the Scarecrow has the gun, like the revolver.
What the fuck?
I go back to that picture for a second, because I think it's hilarious. He looked well chuffed with himself. Like,
I can't understand, because when, like, your man had, like, forget the revolver, but what was it, the fucking giant wrench your man had? What, like, where the fuck did that come out of?
No, well, the wrench is one thing, but the bug extinguisher is the other thing.
But were those guns out even back then when he was fucking... Why did he have a gun all of a sudden?
I love the gun! Where did he get the gun from? It's like this fantasy land, but then for some reason, no, I have a gun. It's like, Jesus, Scarecrow, you didn't need to do that.
I only saw the picture of the gun, and Amy was sitting across me. I said to Amy, I had to pause, like, he has a fucking gun in his hand. She's like, no, he doesn't. I was like, he fucking has a gun in his hand. I said, where the fuck did the gun come out of?
It's like another Anchorman reference, but Brick, is that a grenade? Like, where did you get that granade? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's like, Scarecrow, where did you get that gun? I don't know. I killed a man.
Maybe that was like a in-depth like joke they were planning in there.
Imagine you as the audience back then, and well, I guess it wouldn't have made that much of a big stir back then. They were like, okay, he's a gun.
I didn't notice it like up to the last. And I watched that movie twice, but I only watched like, and I was like, it's kind of one thing when you see it, you're like, no, he doesn't have a gun in his hand.
Why would you can pause it now. You can pause it. Back then, they were like, was that a gun? And then it just split and goes to the next scene. You're like,
where the fuck would he get a gun?
Because Jesus Christ!
Sorry,
calm down, Scarecrow.
I'd love to be able to talk to people who were involved in writing that script, or anyone who was involved in making it, and say to them, "Please explain to me the gun." Just say like.
The scriptwriter's sitting there going, okay, and you know what? I'll sneak in. I bet they won't even put it in for the film. I bet they won't even put the film in. Okay, and then Scarecrow pulls out a gun. And then it happens. They see it.
Because it's one of the things when I saw it, I was like, right, there's no way. And I was like, I had to, like, clearly it's in front of me, it's a gun, but I'm like, why does he have a gun in his fucking hand? Like, your man
has
is
it
like
got
a fucking
something to do with
bazooka
crows? Scaring the crows?
Fuck no.
But the lion has like a big like bug extinguisher with a net, so it doesn't. I don't think it makes anything.
Fleas?
Oh, I don't know.
Fleas?
I don't know.
So she sends the witch sends off the flying monkeys, and again, I love the shots in this where it looks like these bomber planes coming down. They capture Dorothy, bring her off, and they rip all of the hay out of, like, all the straw out of Scarecrow.
They took my legs out and they threw them over there and they took my brain. Do you know what? Movies nowadays have to fuck me up because, like, straight away when I watched that movie, I just kept laughing not because of what was happening in the scene, because I couldn't enjoy it. I kept thinking of Step Brothers. Remember that scene?
Oh yeah, where he's like, you cut your brother in half. Oh no, I'm just thinking that's the other film. That's Dewey Cox.
But I mean, but even the more like what the effects were amazing because like the fact that when you see Toto run and he whatever little person monkey whatever the thing grabs him and then they show him walking and flying up in the air obviously with wires and stuff. But I mean the effects were fucking brilliant. Amazing. So good.
Like. And then she gets captured and brought back to the witch, and the witch is like,
yo.
That's a little bit afterwards, but I love that little song. That's like one of those earworms. It's so cool and ominous. So the witch is like, hey, you're staying here, and I'll basically why is she like, I'm going to kill you basically in this amount of time. This is the part with the cool effect. This is like a special effect where they've obviously drawn in per frame, like the yellow sparks on the shoes.
Oh yeah.
I love that effect.
Bits like that I forgot all about that, and when I saw it, I was like, that's fucking deadly. That's really cool.
So she puts a timer and says, you'll be like, is it like you'll be dead in this amount of time?
Yeah, you'll no longer be living in this amount of time. Yeah, you'll no longer be living. That's a terrible impression. But sorry,
your cowardly line was much better.
Sorry.
No, that's Wookiee.
Put him up.
So put him up.
The best part about the line is when he says. Fucking
I love the way it's like, how did he come up with that? It's like, do lions do that? Maybe he has a cat. Maybe his cat does that.
Well, it's the whole. He's just been, like you said, a bully when he's like, put him up. I thought you one hand behind my back, but it's the fact that what he's doing is his tail is swishing behind him the whole time. But when she slaps him in the face, he's, what you did before? I wasn't gonna bite him. But he says, which I forgot. He says, "Am I bleeding?" Oh, fucking brilliant, man! This is why I love this movie because it's like for years I loved the Scarecrow. He was like all flimsy and then I like the Tin Man because the acting was good. But just now in my 30s, I'm actually just loving the fucking Lion. I'd love to play.
As you get older, you learn to appreciate it. The
you
older
learn to
things in
appreciate
life.
the
lying.
I'm a fucker.
So we get Dorothy looking into the big crystal ball, and Auntie M is still going, Dorothy! It's like she's been missing for a month. She's long gone. So Toto escapes and manages to find Tin Man, Scarecrow, and the Lion, and they're all climbing up the mountain towards the witch's castle. At this part, did you notice when the Tin Man is like holding the tail of the Lion, and he has that like thing on his arse?
You can see this. He's like he had a strap around him, like it was a big huge leather strap, and it was like that don't sound right. He had a leather strap, and he had like a big huge it was like a big steel plate attached to his back as well. But that's what but it was like blatant when he was hanging off.
Yeah.
But like, it's fucking. But even you can see him as then it zooms out or comes out of the shot, and you can see him like falling off the makeshift mountain. That's fucking brilliant. Like it's those details that are fantastic.
So we get him going to the castle, and this is the and they're peering down, going, "How are we going to get in there?"
Has Toto escaped yet?
Toto has escaped, and then has basically found the three guys. Time's running out, and then these green men, who we get really no explanation as to why they're green, but they're green, and they try and ambush Scarecrow, Lion, and the Tin Man.
There's going to be a coffee machine going off in a second, so just in case you hear just for a second.
So we get the Tin Man, Lion, and Scarecrow dressed up as the guards. They basically beat the shit out of the guards after they try and ambush him. I like that little kind of like subversion where you're like, oh, perfect. So they managed to get in, sneak in, and then hack down the door and break in to rescue Dorothy. The witch is like, haha, your time is up, Dorothy, and hey, green men, attack them. And they try and escape, but nope, the witch is back. She's gonna light you on fire. So she tries the old lighting them on fire trick again. Light them on fire. So it doesn't go very well in this instance. The Scarecrow gets actually lit on fire, and then Dorothy throws a load of water. And little did she know that random buckets of water lying around a castle would stop the witch.
Now,
you would think she would be more
crazy.
careful.
Yeah, but in the Oz and Careful, they go through this a little bit more, and I thought this is pretty cool. It's the only thing I thought was good, because when she cries, it's her feelings, and actually, Mila Kunis, when she cries, the water burns her when it goes down. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's her. I don't know, understand, but like that's a little bit more backstory than they.
Well, she uses fire a lot. She's like that fire element, I guess. You know, if you want to take it just as simple as that.
It's like the human torch of the Wizard of Oz.
Or could it be that if you dumped a witch, back to the witch trials?
True. Hey, that would make sense. I'll go with that one.
Let's just go with that because I don't know.
I like that explanation.
Yeah.
So
it's more intellectual.
I'm melting. I'm melting. What a world. So the green guys are like, oh, thank fuck, she really was annoying us. She literally blackmailed us. That's the only reason. She had naked pictures of us. We couldn't leave. So they now pledge allegiance to Dorothy because they're like, I don't know, why did they do this?
I suppose it's like the little aliens in Toy Story.
Leader.
You have freed us. You are our leader.
Yeah. So they go back to the Wizard of Oz with the broom. and says, hey, we did that thing that you said was pretty much impossible. And he's like, no, I changed my mind. I don't want it anymore. I got a broom. I ordered one. It came quicker than you were able to come and bring that one. So, I have Amazon Prime. I forgot. It's right here. It's behind the curtain. Really? Let me check. No, don't go behind the curtain. It's not behind the curtain. It's behind a different curtain.
That man behind the curtain.
Ignore that man. Toto goes over. Toto does a lot of the legwork in this, doesn't he? Toto's like linking up everybody. Ignore that man behind the curtain. Which they don't. They don't ignore the man behind the curtain. It was this man all along. Yep. This man. I don't know his actual name. That guy. What's like Mr. Marvelous? Mr. Marvelous. The great, wonderful, marvelous.
His name is Frank Morgan.
Frank Morgan.
Frank Morgan.
The actor or the character?
Oh no, his real name is Frank Morgan.
In the film or in real life?
No, in real life. His birth given name is Frank Morgan. That's what he told me anyway.
The character or the actor?
The actor.
Okay.
The actor.
In the film.
Yeah, fucking actor, son. The actor, son.
But we don't know his real name in the film.
What's his real name in the film? Oz.
Fucking knows. Says here he's Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. That's what his name is.
He's actually... Yeah, no, his name is Frank Morgan, and
well,
so no, yeah, go on, sorry,
yeah,
go on.
Nope. So we, Dorothy goes over and goes, I can't believe you betrayed me like that. Man that I've never seen before in my life. You look awfully familiar. I feel like we've met 4 or 5 times.
She never says to him, or it's never fucking. I don't understand it. So it's clearly supposed to be him, right?
Yes, it is.
Right, but is it supposed to be him?
So I can't remember in the book, but I don't think it's meant to be him. I think this is again the film trying to encourage you into believing it's a dream rather than it being real life.
Right, because then she says when she wakes up, oh, you were there, and you were this guy, and you were this guy, and you were like. So I think it's.
I don't know who the hell you are.
So he's not supposed to be. It's 700 characters to play, isn't it?
If you think about it like this, I think that the writers of the movie tried to put it like she had encountered this man before, and this is like her in her head.
Eddie Murphy. They made such a big fucking deal of Eddie Murphy playing like everyone in Coming to America. This guy was fucking doing it 50 years before.
Dr. Strangelove, that's been done. Kind Hearts and Cornets, that's been done. Like Eddie Murphy was like the 7th person to do it out of everybody. But let's move on from Eddie Murphy. Ooh, says Wizard of Oz, you've caught me red-handed. And then he basically bribes them. Hey, you know what? Here's the diploma, Scarecrow. That'll fix you.
You've had courage all along. You've had a heart all along. You've had a brain all along.
That's basically it. Hey, you didn't need to come to me at all. Here's the diploma from the Kansas National University or some shit. And, yep, I know all the maths. It was that easy. All I needed was the confidence to know knowledge. I didn't actually need to know knowledge. And then the lion gets a big medal of courage. And, yep, he's courage now. He's very couragely.
Well,
and then
technically, it's a life lesson. He stuck through with Dorothy all along, you know what I mean? So come on, Jamie.
What was the one in Family Guy where they actually get him a real heart? It's like, oh God! But no, they got him like a heart with a clock in it. And I wished he turned around and went, oh, but he got a medal and he got a degree. This is a clock. I'm like made of this. So Dorothy doesn't get anything. But what about me? And then he says, well, I have this giant air balloon that I guess we could take together and we'll go back to It's about a 7-day trip in my air balloon and I have very limited food. Would you like to come along? And she says yes. It's the State Farm of Omaha. So, thankfully, Toto escapes and she doesn't get in the big balloon to bring him back to Kansas. Because how fucking shitty would you feel being after going through all of that and then being told, oh, the shoes did it.
All along. You could have done it all along.
It's like, oh, did I not? I thought I said that to you when back in the Munchkin village. Did you seriously spend all this time walking here? Oh, okay. Well, that was a waste. No. I'm going to miss you, Mr. Tin Man. I'm going to miss you, Cowardly Lion. And I'm going to miss you most of all. Hey,
Scarecrow.
We're standing here.
He said, like, Family Guy, that's why I love Family Guy, because they said everything we were thinking. That's okay, that's okay. We're only stand here. You're going to miss him most of all. That's okay.
So, we then get the there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. And she's back in bed with a nice little cold towel over her head.
Cold compress.
Oh, that's it. A cold hot press. Or is it hot cold press?
No, cold compress.
Oh, cold compress.
Yeah.
What's the compress about?
That's the term.
Oh,
okay. The term was.
So Aunt May is like, oh, thank God. You literally had a concussion and you got knocked the fuck out. But okay, I'll put a cold compress on top of your head. And it feels much better, I'm sure. So everybody's happy. And you were there. And you were there. And then I love if she pointed at the camera and went, and even you. And I would have went, oh, I was there. I was along for the ride.
You knew it. Your man who plays the Scarecrow, Bob, or was it Ray Bolger, is it? He looks
Bob Rayson.
Yeah, but he looks at the camera.
It's not Bob Rayson.
So like when
Ray
she
Bolger.
says, yeah, but I don't know if you have it there, but he actually accidentally looks at the camera as he's standing up. He like when he's been moved out of the way, he blatantly looks at the fucking camera for about 4 or 5 seconds.
Yep. Hey Bob, don't block the guy. What? Oh shit.
Yeah. Sorry. Fuck yeah, shit. But it's another little thing that I was after seeing. I was like, fucking hell, lads. Brought me a little closer to the inside of the film.
Inside of the film, look, you connected with that guy. You're like,
I connected with that guy. He was looking at me into my soul.
Into your soul, and I'll be there next time. And then that's the end. It's a good family film with a lot of political undertones and some fantastic Technicolor.
But what, like, at the end of it, if you're saying it's so political, the message then is there's no place like home. So what is the message? Don't bother trying.
No. The no place like home is like, I don't know if that's the political part. I know the part about the government being a piece of shit and being basically like, hey, we're just a man behind a curtain. When you actually are good enough to show you are good enough to be seen by the Wizard of Oz, you actually don't need the Wizard of Oz. You know, when you actually make yourself so good and you've achieved and overcome all these strifes, to see the Wizard of Oz, you find out the Wizard of Oz was inside of all of us. That kind of bullshit, but in a better message way.
Shut the front door there now. Come on, you fucking reaching for shit.
Shut the front door, out the window.
See, it just felt to me like she was trying to literally follow her dreams, and at the end was told, go home and stay there.
Wow, we've seen a lot of these films lately like that. We've seen Nightmare Before Christmas. It's like, don't follow your dreams. Stick with what you know. We've seen... What other films that are really discouraging? Like, please don't leave. Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
That's like, hey, home is where the heart is. Don't ever leave. You're stuck here and be happy with it.
Yeah, actually. And maybe in Misery, he should have stayed home too.
Hey, he should have never went to that hotel. So, what a wonderful film. I loved it. I enjoyed that. Any final thoughts? Do we have any final snippets of information that we'd like to add in for the purposes of commentary and such?
No, I have no comment. I just thought it was awesome. Like, I knew I was going to enjoy it, but I love the fact that I get to look at it more. Something I would have never done, lads, ever watching movies. Like, looked at it really in depth. Like unless you really, really fucking love something. But that's why I love doing this podcast for everyone who's watching, everyone who's going to watch this podcast, because we know loads of people are going to watch it. Right, guys? Right, guys? Right, guys?
So many.
Like,
I'll be watching it.
Yeah, well, I get to pick out stuff that I would have never, ever noticed about it. Like the gun, for instance, in the Scarecrow's hand. Like, forever that will be with me now. And every time I watch it on Christmas, I'll be looking out for that fucking gun.
No, they'll probably CGI it out nowadays, and they'll probably have him with a marshmallow instead.
Flower in his hand or something.
A flower,
like,
yeah.
It's one of those things that's why I like watching things like this, because this is why I love this whole idea, because things like I would never watch Wonderful Life, even though it's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen now. Never watched it. Existence is, if we watched an earlier episode we watched an earlier movie called Existence in an earlier episode. It was a fucking great movie. Great movie. Like,
hey, Darren, you named all of my films just there.
Yeah, but no, but like,
thanks.
Then there's movies that we thought were like years ago. Like, you know what? Look, we watched The Crow, and even though
Jesus
but even
Christ.
though it quite wasn't what it was years ago, I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed the campness of it. I still enjoyed the weirdness of it. I still enjoyed that it was a weird movie. But I did.
What's that crappy saying in it? It's not. It doesn't rain.
Can't
forever.
rain all the time.
Can't rain all the time. Johnny, whatever his name is, Draven.
Eric
Draven.
Like, but you look at like some of the movies you watched. I would have never looked in depth into the fucking Beetlejuice. Like, that was a fucking great movie. That was, and I knew it was a great movie. But like the fact that we get to look in depth in these things is why I love this whole idea. This movie especially, when you said like a Wizard of Oz, like I would never thought. Well, now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, why would you not have picked the Wizard of Oz, Jamie?
Pick it. It's one of my what?
Yeah, like now I got.
Is that one of those? Are you doing one of those? Am I a little bit?
Yeah. No. Well, straight away, I was thinking like, this is a great idea to find out.
I even know when you're to listen to the soundtrack on your earphones just randomly out of nowhere. So like, what are you listening to, Jamie? Oh, the Wizard of Oz soundtrack.
Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah.
On repeat.
Well, but that was a great idea for me to be like, all right, I wonder what I can pick up in this movie, if I can pick up at it. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to whatever episodes we do in the future. Like, I'm really looking forward to them. Can't wait.
The more we do, the more we do, the drunker we get, and I'm sure we'll shit talk about a lot of stuff. And by the way, the gripe that I had, and obviously I know it can't be that much of a gripe if I could only raise it now. At the end, I had forgotten that she goes back to the wizard twice, and in my head I had mixed it all into one encounter. So I was like, for fuck's sake, send her off and get her to come back again and then go, you didn't even need to do it in the first place. I was like, that's bullshit. But that part that I had a problem with. The rest was great.
Okay, that's a small gripe.
So, I will now commence the rating of the film.
Yes.
Are we ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. I am going to give this film a 9.5 wizards out of 10 wizards. And it's like a little person for one of the wizards is the 0.5. I'll give it 9 wizards and a midget out of 10. Darren.
I give it 6.
Is that like 12 midgets standing on top of each other?
Yeah. No, I liked it, but I say, like, out of all the movies you watched, like, I'm not fucking blown away. I'm not like, oh my god, I found a revelation about this movie.
6! Hang on a second. I was just trying to think of a joke to say, but 6?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I did, but I didn't fucking love it. I was like, oh my god, it was amazing. Do you know what? No. Do you know what we do?
That's a controversial rating.
We'll give it a 7.5. We'll give it a solid 7.5. How about that? 7.5. That's my final.
I'm talking out of you, Darren.
7.5 midgets out of 7.5 midgets.
I don't feel like I need to apologize for The Wizard of Oz. I think it's been out long enough for 80 years. It's an old person by this stage. Give it.
That's what I'm saying. It's been out for fucking 80 years. So 7.5 midgets is pretty good.
7.5 midgets. That's like 3.25.
We'll go with that.
I'm lowering the rating. Derry.
Yeah.
8 ruby slippers.
8 ruby slippers. Wow! Hey! I gave it the highest rating this week. I normally give it lower than you guys. 8 ruby slippers. We got a 7 there from Mr. Stingy Reviews.
Only by peer pressure.
Yeah, I did peer pressure that extra midget out of him. And then a 9.5 from myself. And I very rarely give it even, well, when it's my movie, I kind of tend to rate it a little bit higher. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We had a fantastic day today, chatting and shit talking about The Wizard of Oz. Thanks for joining us. We're going to take a little bit of a look. Yeah, let's take a little bit of a look at the picture. And this time I added back in my camera, or my chat, so now I can talk while look at it. And yeah, wonderful. Hey, I love the slippers at the end. I love the ruby slippers, very good.
Derry, what is the wavy thing? Like, I know, from her midsection.
Here?
Yeah.
Or here?
No, it's like a sheet for all the world.
Yeah,
is it a
ribbons
ribbon?
coming off the hat.
Perfect. Okay, it's fucking awesome. It's so good. So fucking... Do you know what I love about your pictures? And I will say this to you. No matter when I look at them straight away, I can tell... Obviously, I can fucking know what we're talking about. But I mean, if you didn't know what we're talking about, you'd know what that was. Fucking so good.
I couldn't do any more faces. I'm like, I've drawn girls' faces the last couple of times, and
I'd give that 9 minutes out of...
So yeah, it's looking amazing, and it's going to be up on our Instagram and our Twitter and all of the good accounts. So do make sure to check in once it's 100% done and perfected. So yeah, thanks again for joining us this week. We've been real shade. Next week, what's our film going to be, Derry? Announce the film.
Oh, it's my pick. Next week, back to my Kevin Smith fangirl days, to Dogma.
Love a little bit of Dogma.
Yeah, it should be an interesting conversation.
One person that we need to see in this movie, and it rhymes with Smation Muse. So yes.
I like Alanis Morissette too. Mm-hmm. So we'll see you next week, everybody. Alan Rickman.
Just fucking everyone.
Alan Rickman. So we'll see you next week, guys. Watch Dogma and then do a little bit of shit talking in the chat, I'm sure. And when we'll be giving it our lovely ratings. So next week, 7 o'clock, same bat time, same bat channel. And yeah, have a lovely rest of your afternoon, everybody, or night, or goodbye. Bye. Bye.